Imagine a place where the sun paints the land in shades of gold and amber. This land is called the Sahel, a beautiful ribbon of earth stretching across West Africa, just south of the vast Sahara Desert. Here, the air is warm, and the sky is a brilliant, endless blue. This was the home of the Hausa people. They were farmers and storytellers, artists and traders. Their history is not just written in books, it is woven into colorful fabrics, molded into pottery, and sung in the melodies that drift on the evening breeze. It's a story of how a collection of small villages grew into a powerful and magnificent empire that connected worlds. Every great story has a magical beginning, and the story of the Hausa Empire is no different. Legend tells of a brave hero named Bayajida, a prince who traveled from a distant land far to the east. After a long and dangerous journey across the desert, he arrived at a town called Daura. There, he found the people in great trouble. A monstrous snake named Sarki guarded the town's only well, and it would only allow the people to draw water once a week. Bayajida, full of courage, faced the great serpent, and with his mighty sword defeated it, setting the people of Daura free. As a reward for his bravery, the Queen of Daura married Bayajida. Together they had a son named Bawo. Bawo, in turn, grew up and had 7 sons of his own. These 7 sons were the founders of the original 7 Hausa states, known as the Hausa Bakwai. Each son went out into the world and established his own city, which grew into a powerful kingdom. As the Hausa kingdoms grew, so did their amazing cities. These were not just places where people lived, they were masterpieces of engineering and design, built to protect and inspire. The most incredible feature of these cities was their walls. Imagine massive walls made of sun-dried mud, so thick and so high that they seemed to touch the sky. Building these walls was a massive community effort. Everyone, from the youngest child to the oldest elder, had a part to play. Men would dig the clay from the earth, mixing it with water and straw. Inside these protective walls, life buzzed with energy. The cities were carefully planned, with different neighborhoods home to different craftsmen. You could walk down one street and hear the rhythmic clang of blacksmiths. Among all the great Hausa city-states, Kano was truly special. It was the beating heart of the empire, a vibrant center of business that drew people from near and far. Its good location made it a natural hub for the trans-Saharan trade routes. Camel caravans, sometimes stretching for miles, would arrive from North Africa, their saddlebags filled with salt, fine silks, books, and beads. The marketplace in Kano, known as the Kurmi Market, was one of the oldest and largest in all of Africa. Imagine a mix of sights, sounds, and smells. Mountains of vibrant red peppers and golden spices. But Kano was famous for more than just what it sold. It was renowned for what it made. The city was a powerhouse of industry. The city's famous dye pits, deep wells filled with indigo, were a sight to behold. While Kano was the heart of trade, the city of Katsina was the mind and soul of the Hausa world. If Kano was bustling and commercial, Katsina was scholarly and calm, a place dedicated to knowledge, learning, and spiritual growth. One of the most famous symbols of this intellectual tradition is the Gobarau minaret, a towering structure that served not only as a place to call people to prayer, but also as an astronomical observatory. The city's commitment to learning was shown by its famous schools and libraries. Scholars in Katsina studied not just the Quran and Islamic law, but also mathematics, astronomy, philosophy, and history. The Hausa Empire was built on trade, but the most important things that traveled along its trade routes were not goods, but ideas. The camel caravans were like moving libraries and traveling classrooms, bringing new stories, new technologies, new beliefs. This constant flow of people and ideas made Hausa culture incredibly rich and dynamic. It was a beautiful blend of ancient, local traditions and exciting new influences from the outside world. The Hausa language itself is a perfect example of this cultural exchange, borrowing words from Arabic, Tamashek, and other neighboring languages. This made Hausa a flexible language, perfectly suited for business, diplomacy, and storytelling across a vast stretch of West Africa. A powerful new idea that arrived on the camel caravans was the religion of Islam. The Hausa rulers saw that adopting this faith could be good for business and diplomacy. It introduced a new system of law and brought reading and writing, creating a new class of educated scribes and scholars. However, the new faith did not completely erase the old ways. For a long time, Islam and traditional Hausa beliefs existed side by side, but by the late 18th century, a respected Islamic scholar named Usman Dan Fodio began to attract a large following. Dan Fodio called for a return to pure Islamic principles, preaching against corruption and mixed religious practices. In 1804, this movement erupted into a full-blown revolution that swept across the Hausa lands like fire. One by one, the great Hausa city-states fell. The ancient walls of Kano and Katsina could not hold back this internal revolution. By 1809, the independent Hausa city-states were gone, replaced by the vast Sokoto Caliphate. Though the independent Hausa city-states are a part of history, their spirit is still very much alive today. The Hausa language is now one of the most widely spoken languages on the African continent, carrying the stories and wisdom of the empire into the modern world. The cultural traditions continue with great vibrancy. The masterful leatherwork, brilliant indigo-dyed fabrics, and intricate embroidery are still created by skilled artists today. The music can still be heard at festivals and celebrations, keeping the story of the Hausa people alive for new generations. Perhaps the most important lesson from the Hausa Empire is the power of connection and openness. Their success came from their willingness to trade ideas with people different from them. In a world that can sometimes feel divided, the Hausa story is a beautiful example of how exchange and communication can build bridges between cultures. From the legend of Bayajida to the rise of the Sokoto Caliphate, it is a powerful chapter in the grand book of human history. The walls may have crumbled, but the spirit of the Hausa people, their language, their art, and their incredible history, continues to stand tall, a timeless inspiration for us all.